Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. And another one. And another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. And another one. And another one.
All right, ready? We can go. All right, yo, Sneak This Podcast. This is, I guess you want to say it's episode 186 maybe, but I always do an episode when I come to Texas, so this is a very special episode. It's one of those things where I always say, like, when you take your show serious, you know, I'm here chilling and drinking and vacationing Cowboys and stuff, but, you know, I love our show and I take it very seriously. So if I get the opportunity to get the people that I, know and talk to, and see often, obviously I had to make sure I hit up Ryan. Ryan is a person that came through Arizona and came on our show and made time for that, so I wanted to always, and last time I was here I was trying to get you on last time, but
that was my fault.
Ryan's a busy man. He's a very busy man, so you can get Ryan to sit down, it's always a blessing. So got the homie James from the OTC Off the Cut show, which is something that I've just recently started getting into. Me and James recently started talking a lot more, on Instagram and stuff, and he had told me he had a show. I had no idea that you guys had a show, and I would follow him and see all his, on feet sneaker pics, but I didn't follow the show, and he didn't post much of the show on your own page that much. At least not that I noticed. So once he was like, oh yeah, for the show, and I was like, for the show, and I looked, I was like, oh shoot, they got a nice little show. I'm like, that's tight, in the barbershop with Dappa, and stuff.
Yeah, Dappa, me, Matt, the Off the Cut crew. The reason why I didn't put it on my page because I didn't want to take attention from the show, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because there's three of us, it wasn't just me, so I'm like, I don't want to combine them just yet. I wanted the page itself to grow, and it has. So finally, I've started to cross them both over.
Yeah, which is, Ryan's a Swanger is, social media, king. So,
yeah.
Which is crazy because I noticed on your stuff, you've switched up your style of page way different than it was.
Yo, he shows his face now.
He shows his entire body now.
Yeah, no, I got bored with sneaker only stuff. Right. It was like repetitive at some point. And so I kind of switched it up. My style is not really the typical sneaker style. So I'm like, I'll kind of introduce that and see how it goes. And I kind of like it better.
No, I do. I mean, you're definitely, someone with like, I don't want to say eclectic, but like when you put on stuff, you make it like, oh, I could probably wear those too. Like I don't know what pants they were. It was like these paisley, greenish, pinkish pants.
Yo, tell them what those used to be.
That was drape fabric I bought from Ralph Lauren, and then I took it to my tailor and had it converted into pants.
Must be nice.
This man, he posted them, and I was like, "Hey, those pants are fire, bro. Where'd you get those?" And he was like, "They're my curtains." Okay,
I seen them when he had posted them online. I was like, man, and I love to wear stuff like that. I like to wear it to work. But when I wear it to work, I get a hard time all the time. Like I remember when I was an intern at work, I wore just a pink button up and who is this guy? Who do you think he is? But then as like I got higher and higher in the where I do for work, wear whatever I want now. And I said, man, I was like Swanger, I was like, I'm doing. That's why I always said that Swanger is a real influencer. Like there are certain people that go out of their way to try to influence, but like when you just being yourself and being you, it puts consideration. Like, I could maybe wear those. You're like, man, them New Balances, I wasn't sure about them at first, but them joints are fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that guy who's afraid to go first. Ryan goes first. I'm like, okay, I'll go next. I can do that, especially with New Balances, because I didn't really mess with New Balance that much. There were a few here and there that I was like, all right, cool. But like the gray gym teacher joints.
Right.
Ryan made those things fire. Everybody got some, and I'm like,
oh yeah.
I don't know if
you gotta find your
now
look,
they're too cool for me.
I think right now is especially for men. Traditionally, women had all these different styles, but men would have like one style that was cool.
Right.
In the last couple of years, it's moved where now actually there's multiple trends for men, which is pretty dope. And so I want to look at what all those are and then do something different than that, ideally, at least a little bit. And so, but the nice thing is I think you can try what works for you, and that's kind of what's in style right now because there's a whole lot of different looks that work. Other than suits and ties, still not cool right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, which is crazy. I was telling my wife, I was like, man, I remember when like you know, you go get yourself a nice suit and the same colors too, like the pants and that was like, oh man, he look nice. I see somebody walk in with a suit and I'm like, oh, he's all retro now.
Yeah.
I'm like out there and when I go dress up now, I'm buying like the pattern blazers and I got a different color pant with the shoe, you know, and it's like, man, that's crazy. But no, you definitely somebody who say you and I will say Mike from the Breakdown.
Yeah. Mikey Dabs.
So the Ace, I can't remember which one they're called. Not Cayennos. I always think of Cayennos, but they got like he's been posting them a lot, and they got like the clear little pods on the bottom, kind of.
The 360 collab.
I think that might be.
So what they are Cayennos. They're Kayano 360s.
Oh, okay.
It's like a hybrid.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Those are fire. And seeing those previously, seeing them, I was like, oh, them suck. Yeah. But then every time I saw you wear them or then Mike wear them, I was like, them ain't that bad. And it's just who you see pull them off, you know, and that's that influence.
To your point on Mike, he's one of the only guys I've seen a few times. You know, I like the Kiko ASICs.
Yeah.
Those too.
Yeah, and Mike posted those, and I thought they were trash before he posted. I'm like, oh man, those are fire. All right, I gotta get those.
I'm not gonna lie. Remember, he posted them, and then he told me about them. We were sitting there talking.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll go look at them. Next thing I know, I got 3 dibs in on like StockX and I'm like, maybe I should get a pair.
Oh, well, it's crazy. Well, like I said, everybody, I appreciate everybody listens, likes, subscribes, comments, does all that stuff. We appreciate everybody who takes the time, you know, out of their day to, you know, watch our shows and stuff like that. So I do want to talk about Off the Cut, a little bit how it got started and stuff. Did any of you care to bother to get the 11s? I'm not sure you got them. You get everything. Actually, I mean, you might have them too, but you might not. No, okay. I didn't think so.
I would look really stupid in Brett 11s, man.
This is what I don't understand about Brian Swanger. All right. The man will literally throw on curtains on his leg, but he's like, you know, the most classic sneakers ever made. I might look silly in them.
I respect
That's the one that scares you?
I respect the shoe. I don't think it matches with what I'm trying to wear.
And see, you know, I look at it like, see, with me, I mean, I have Concord 11s, like, and stuff like that. I just haven't worn them in a long time. Actually, I never worn them at all. And I feel like, and we get this all the time, people that hate on our shows and talk junk, like, oh, you guys are crazy. I just can't wear Jordans anymore. Jordan 1s, Jordan lows, 4s, maybe a 3, maybe. I wear a 6 if I force myself because it's my favorite Jordan of all time. Right. But like, I feel like I don't know where to wear it anymore. Yeah. I'm with my kids a lot. I feel like I'd be forcing myself to throw on that. Now, I love the Brit 11. To me, Concord, Brit 11, them are the only ones that matter out of that. I've never liked Space Jams.
Never.
I had them, but I never liked them. Cool gray 11s, I thought those were just awful. I did not understand the many tones of gray. Like I've never been into that. But I didn't even try. I got for friends. I got about 5, 6, 7 friends pairs. But for myself, I was like, I don't need these, man. Like
that's how I feel about the new colorways. But like the original color, like the Space Jams, love them. Breads are my favorite. I think that shoe probably kicked off this whole sneaker thing for me. Concords. I mean, I can't even like put them in order.
Right.
And like with the new colors, with this, the blues and the reds are all right, but then you've got the cap and gowns and the da. Right. Like and then it started doing too much. I'm like, to me, there's only 4 colorways, and those are the 4 colorways I mess with.
Right. And I think a lot of people need to like really appreciate the like older colorways. I know we like the OGs and stuff like that, but I mean, when it comes to like a Jordan 11, you really only need the original colorways.
You definitely don't need a new one. And I'll be the contrarian and say there's one patent leather sneaker that actually still matters. Sheed lows. That's it.
You're out of your mind.
Sheed lows.
The 11 is like, that is the silhouette. That's a silhouette that like connects generations. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, it really does. No, it definitely does.
That's true.
And that's the one in Jordan 11s, Concords, any of those models. That's what I always tell people why it's, and this is to me, the most iconic sneaker of all time. Not because of like, do I think it's better than other sneakers? It's because aunts, moms, everybody else remembered those when we were younger. Like, I remember. They just remember them. Man, I know exactly what to call or what they are, but it's like they remember those. Like I remember when I got Concords with me and this other kid were the only 2 kids in school with him, and his name was Jordan. He bought every Jordan. So we were the only ones with him in 7th grade. And we got made fun of so bad. Tap dancing shoes, this and that, rubber, plastic, all day. And I remember when they went on sale. Like they were on sale at JCPenney. Like this is when JCPenney used to sell Jordans and stuff. And then all of a sudden, like 8th grade, Carolina the original Carolina all white one, not the legend blue, whatever
Not
it's called
legend
now.
blue, Carolina.
They came out, then everybody started liking them, and then it was like took off from there for me. So I just remember like that's why I love, having a show and stuff, because you can share those stories. But like, there was no internet, there was no nothing. You had magazines, and the way you knew a new sneaker was getting ready to come out was like you watching like the NBA playoffs, or you're watching an NBA game, and you're like,
facts.
What the heck is Jordan wearing? What is Sean Kemp wearing? Like, oh my goodness. You couldn't be like go on the Google and say Sean Kemp. There was nothing.
No, that wasn't it.
You would have to wait for East Bay or a Slam magazine, and you would flip the pages and look for like, you'd be like, yo, you need those. There was no release date. There was no nothing. Like it.
You would walk into a store and the guy'd be like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, or they would tell you, they would say like, we're getting a shipment in from Nike. We don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. So,
well, since we're in Dallas, I'll give a quick Dallas story from my sneaker history. I will not forget, we went to a Ranger game back when George Bush was the owner of the Rangers.
Right.
My dad had a Connect where we got to sit next to him, watch the game, like next to them or whatever.
Right.
My sister and I, we lived in the country, so we were going crazy that we got to be close, see all the batters on deck warming up. Afterwards, we went to the mall, went to Champ Sports, and my dad was like, do you want the Air Max 95s? It was the OG colorway, and we're like, all right, yeah, we'll take those. But to your point, like it was just the regular shoe right on the wall, but it's the neon now that's like classic. But back then it was like, you want the latest Air Max. It didn't mean anything, in the same way that we think about it now.
Yeah, right? I grabbed the second pair 2 weeks later on a sale rack at my local Foot Locker in Denver, because I'm from Denver originally.
Right.
So like
that's why you're a Broncos fan.
Hell yeah, for life, till death do us part. Even though we're miserably terrible, but camping out for me was a whole different thing. It was me and like two of my friends. Right. We would show up at like 6 a.m. and just kind of stand there and wait. That wasn't really, this is Denver. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, nobody really wanted to camp out. It was cold.
It's always cold there. That story is incredible. This guy, he was ruffled in curtain pants, and we were sitting by the former President Bush. So,
Me and George.
George.
Seemed like a nice guy back then. Probably not the president, but seemed like a nice guy.
Oh, George.
Exactly.
But off the cut. So, how did it get started? Tell me about it. And you guys know each other too, right?
Yeah. We're friends outside of Instagram.
Oh, so I love that.
Yeah, we're homies.
I like the fact that you guys are friends outside of Instagram, and I've never looked at Instagram and known it.
Yeah,
right. The internet's full of strangers.
I don't think we have any co-posts.
No. You're not like, yo, shout out to my friend Ryan.
No facts.
Like,
it was like we're friends, and then there's Instagram.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Like, people need to really stop that, because that's how a lot of stuff on Instagram gets started. They think they're such good friends off the internet, and then now they're beefing and now they're arguing. I'm like, man, get off of this.
You get the comment, you're like,
James and I do meetups, but nobody knows that. It's called hanging out with your friends.
Me and him hanging out.
Thank you. You don't got to post chopped it up with James today.
No, right. Hey, I'm Deep Elb, come hang out. All right, bet.
Yo, we had to chop it up real quick.
But was it really a meetup if we didn't post it online?
Did it really happen?
It's very real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, very real.
That's funny.
So off the cut started. So one day I was at home and my Facebook went off, and Matt, my co-host on the show, posted a live, and he was at a barbershop with a friend of ours, and they were trying to have a conversation about shoes while sitting at the barbershop. So I do television. That's my day-to-day job. I'm a producer and I create TV shows. So I was watching it, and I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, this is awful. Shut this off. Right. I don't want to watch this anymore, because he's shaky. I can't hear anything.
Right.
But I'm interested in the conversation, because it's a conversation I have regularly at a barbershop. Dappa is my barber, and Dappa and I talk about shoes every time I sit down. When Matt comes, we sit down, we talk about shoes. So the idea sparked. And he called me, because I sent him a message. I said, shut this off. Call me later.
Right.
So he called me and we started talking. I'm like, look, I feel like the middle of America, not even just Dallas, is missing is like a real sneaker show for us. Like, everybody knows LA is going to have a show, or they've got a whole scene in New York, and everything's happening in on both coasts. It's always there. You know what I'm saying? Look at sneaker passes. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
If you want a shoe, it's not, you ain't getting it here.
That's what I always complain about.
Right.
It's like big city bias.
Right. So we were like, we need to talk about, there are so many things that we talk about and so many things that we complain about. I'm like, we should be airing it, because I know there's other people that feel the same way. So when we sat down and we started talking about it, I'm like, we can do this better. We can do this way better. So I started using some of the contacts that I have, and I started talking to the camera operators and audio guys, and I'm like, hey, let's create a show based out of Dallas about not just sneakers, but like the whole culture, art, food. If we're going to talk about hype, let's be about hype. Let's hear what's happening out there. If Chick-fil-A is having a beef with Popeyes, we need to talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If Nike CEO stepping down, we should be talking about it because for one, we wanted to bring like a grown man's perspective. Matt and I are both in our 30s, you know what I'm saying? But we've been doing this a long time. And we still connect with younger guys. So we're like, we should be talking about everything. We both pick up sneakers on Saturday mornings. Today, Saturday mornings, I went and picked up my shoes before I even came here. You know what I mean? So we're about to have the same conversation I have on Off the Cut in real life right here. So I'm like, let's film it. Let's put it out there.
Right.
And let's show that Dallas has a scene. And here we are.
And see, that's how we built ours too, was off a text message thread. Like we say and feel how we want.
Yeah.
I was like, we can share with everybody else, and which got us in a lot of trouble. It was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool, but like it's giving that perspective.
Right.
Like, and it's not taking, and I think one of the things was seeing that the internet was just, when it came to sneakers, actually, you know what really wanted to put it over to was when I found out like how big the industry was, like money wise.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was
crazy.
like, it's in billions. And I was like, okay, this is crazy that this industry of sneakers is in the billions, and it's us outside camping or on our phones and we're doing this and we're doing that. Like we're literally doing every single thing we possibly can to get these.
Right.
Yep.
And it's like, this business is so big. And then I look on the internet and it's just like people like, yo, got the new Jordan 11s, you know, reviewing. Man, you see this picture and I'm like, this is kind of all it is.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
it's the same review. It's the same person. It's the same topics, and it's the same bad production. And this is where it got me, because I wanted it to be professional. I'm like, if we're going to do it, let's do it right. Like, I can't tell you how much I hate when I see the phone 5 feet behind them and I can barely hear what they're saying.
Right.
And they don't get close or everything gets out of focus. So I'm like, let's do it honestly, and let's have a real conversation about it. If I'm tired of 350s, I'm gonna fucking tell you I'm tired of these fucking shoes. Or and worst of all, like, we don't get shoes here. You know how many fucking shops are in Dallas that get tier 0 shoes?
See, that's what's kind of crazy. I always thought Dallas was like, obviously not at the top tier, but I mean, we're in Arizona, so I knew we were below Dallas.
Right.
Like I knew that. Like, I mean, our Nike store just closed. Like our only Nike pound, and that was mismanagement by probably Nike and them. They wanted to be in a very nicer part of town, but it was way too nice.
Right.
It wasn't. And you come to like something like that, you gotta be sort of like not in the hood, but not in the like North Scottsdale of like Arizona. Like it can't be like, you know. And because I knew like a lot of people that were into sneakers, they weren't gonna drive to North Scottsdale. It's just too far. Right. You know. Right. But like you're saying, I would have thought Dallas was up there. Dallas at some point started kind of getting the like special drops at Nikes or whatever it was.
Kinda.
It was more during like the Nike basketball kind of era, you know, and then it kind of faded away.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, like how you said, if we wanted tier 0 shoes, if we wanted something crazy, you have to go to Houston. That's what, 4 hours away, you know, without traffic or with traffic? Yeah. And we're acting like Dallas is some small town. The Metroplex is huge. There's money galore here, but imagine, you know what I'm saying, trying to find a pair of anything.
It's the third biggest metro area, I think now. So so it's ahead of LA or ahead of Chicago, one of the two in terms of size.
Yeah. And guess how many shoes we get?
So with Dallas, like, and I have a lot of work relationship with Dallas because of what I do in Arizona. Dallas is very similar to Phoenix as far as like being a border state with Mexico, population, the type of weather, type of things like that. Yeah. And it's crazy because like you said, like you wouldn't know, like I hate when like they show Arizona on TV. So when the first time I went to New York, I think I've told the story many times. The first time I went to New York, the first thing people said to me were like, yo, y'all really like ride horses and got like a cactus. And I was like, okay, settle down. Like we have buildings and stuff like that. But then I watch when like they're watching the Suns play and it'd be like TNT, Suns, Bulls or whatever. And they're in Arizona. The TNT production shows a cactus and a lizard and the sunset and over the mountains. I'm like, man, we got a train. We got like, we have things. It isn't just like the sun setting in the west, you know, and all that. And I think that's how they look at us when it comes to the sneaker
Dude, you think
market.
we don't get prototyped? Everybody here wears cowboy hats, right?
Facts.
Yeah.
I'm dead ass gonna start wearing one on Off the Cut just so I can be like, at least I fit the fucking mold.
You know what's crazy? Like every time we come to Dallas and we go out and stuff, I begin to feel like I need to have more manners. Like I see the hats and like the guys who walk by me and then tip your cap. I'm like, so I'm like, you know,
you out for work though, bro.
Yeah,
they're real out here.
I feel like, man, like it's very buttoned up out there. And Arizona tries to be that, but Arizona is like one of those like, this is a great place to live and be, but it's like it really doesn't have a culture.
Sure.
So when it comes to sneakers and stuff, like, you know, I had no idea that Century is a Century, right? Center. I had no idea that was even in Dallas.
Yeah.
Like, I would buy stuff and like, the sweats and stuff like that. I had no idea it was out here.
You know, and Center's been basically like the only shop for years.
Yep.
And you know, even there, like they get all kinds of good stuff, and you know, they've been our local supplier. You know, they get better stuff than Nike Dallas does. But even then, like they didn't get everything. You know what I'm saying? There was no tier 0. Like the Off-Whites, they didn't get them. So imagine.
Wait, Dallas Nike off didn't get them?
No one.
Nobody in Dallas got Off-White.
Oh, really?
And I'm
Nobody.
Saying, no one. No one in this general area got anything. So think about people who live in the middle of the country, right?
Right.
From here all the way up
north. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know where you find those shoes? You don't.
Yeah,
but
exactly. We found Chicago. Chicago gets everything.
But we found a way to still get them. So I mean, the scene is here and it's crazy. There's people. I mean, there are shoes coming. I mean, Sneaker Politics just showed up. I mean, they've only been here for a couple months. But that still leaves, I mean, when you think of Dallas, and I say, name me 3 shops in Dallas, and you can't. You know what I'm saying? Because there aren't.
No.
There's 2.
And like we always talk about on our show too, like how certain sneaker shops and places are like, they're tourist destinations now. You go to New York, you got to go to Flight Club. You got to go to KF. You got to go to Stadium Goods.
Yeah.
You come to Arizona, people come to Arizona, yo, I'm in town. What should I hit up? And I'm like, you know, we got the malls, you know, the Foot Lockers and all that. And, you know, we do have an Undefeated now. And, you know, we have Manor and stuff. But, like, the Undefeated is, like, it's Undefeated. Like, it's not going to be anything super grand in there. You know, you might find an Arizona Undefeated type shirt, you know. But anything they have in there, you're going to find that up wherever. And then our Manor store is, like, up and coming, you know. And it's like, you know, we're talking about it. It's like, it's up and coming, but it doesn't have everything yet, and they're trying to get their business off the ground and stuff. And it's like you go in, it's about as big as this room. You go in, you make a U-turn, and you're done. That's Arizona sneaker culture. You know, all of our resale shops, like all of our co-signer shops, gone out of business, or they've scammed everybody, or they did something like at a while. Oh, we probably had about 6 at one time. Probably 4 of those 6 scammed everybody, stole money, got arrested, FBI, sheriff, all kind of crazy stuff.
You pound for pound.
And we had your guys here too. You know, we had
pound for pound. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So, you know, with the owner and all them, like we know him, like he hates my guts now. But it's amazing, like because
weird. Don't scam people.
But the thing is that's what sneakers. That's when I was like the business. I was like, that's what sneakers do to people.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll be honest with you, when we started our show, it got me too. Like that's why I got in trouble with my wife, you know, because we started doing the show. I already bought tons of sneakers, but then we started doing the show. It was like, I started buying more.
I gotta buy.
I gotta have them.
I gotta have for the show.
Yeah, I gotta have the show. I can't get on here and talk about this, and I ain't got it. Like I haven't touched it, I haven't seen it, you know. And it's amazing that, like I said, what it does to people. And I always say it's an addiction. I know I'm addicted.
Facts.
Yeah.
Like I know I am, and I'm fine with it as long as I can control it to some point. Like you know, I had spent over 15,000.
Look, there are worse vices to have.
There is. That's why I told my wife. I said, you know, look, sneakers are cocaine. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I've never done cocaine in my life, but I'm like, you know,
I'm like, it could.
That's my example. I go to the gym out the window.
I could be doing meth instead. I'm buying fresh ass fucking kicks.
Yeah.
Good for
Take care of my family. I'm good. What do you want? Cocaine or sneakers? Leave me alone. You know. But that's where the industry is, and like with pound for pound and stuff, like you're so involved in wanting that sneaker, and you're so addicted, and you have to have it. I can't remember who I was describing it to, and I said it's not the sneakers. It's a lot of times I know I have something that everyone else wanted and they didn't get it.
Yeah,
they didn't get it, and it sucks that it's that way.
It's like a win. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Like for me, and I know that it's a fact, but taking an L hurts me. I get so mad because I'm like, why can't I have it? I want to have it. Yeah, it still gets. But yeah,
see, I'm like Greg. I don't ever expect a W anymore. I expect all L's.
I do.
I am an optimist 100% of the time. So if there's a chance, I feel like I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get it. And then when I don't, it frustrates me. I don't get angry like punching the wall. Right. Of course. But I'm like, for a minute there, I need to sit down and be like, I didn't get it.
Well, I got a question off that for you guys. So 2 or 3 years ago, even not that long ago, I feel like you missed, and then oftentimes it would be like $300 or $250, maybe $350.
Sure.
So it wasn't that big of a difference if you missed out.
Right.
But I feel like now, if it's a good shoe, at best case, it's $500.
Yep.
And if you miss out on one that's really popular, then it's $1,000. So I feel like the plateaus have gotten to the point where I don't want most of them at that level. Right. There's other stuff that I'd rather get than that.
Right.
So when I don't get them, which I don't expect to do, then I just end up not buying anything.
That's what Clark Kent told me. Be positive. I'm like, man, come on. Like, I'm positive. Like, it's not. I'm not you. Like, yeah.
Is that the Clark Kent that doesn't know that the bodegas are 997Ss?
Yeah, I know. So, well, I was going to ask you that too. So, where do you just get all your stuff online? Because I can't.
I'm not buying nearly as much lately, man. I'm really not, because I haven't. So this year to me has been a bad year. I put together the top 10 in case we got there today.
Right.
And I had 5 New Balance in the top 10.
Right.
And that's, even for me that really likes New Balance, that's a lot.
Well, but New Balance has had a really strong year.
They have.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. It's just so hard to get out of the, like, I feel like that period of time when like Ronnie Feig and all them with the collaborations and stuff, and the A6 and the Jelly 5s, all that, like, we were, going after them all. Like, we had them all. We loved them. And it was like a certain thing of like, they started getting that respect of like, yo, you got the lavas, you got the joint, you got the salmon toes, you got that. Yeah. And then it faded away at some point. Like, we really abandoned them. Like, I don't know if you buy A6 and all that stuff back in at all.
I mean, I did, but I caught on quick that the hype was really fast on them. And I don't know if I wasn't really, I don't know. I didn't vibe with the whole Ronnie Feig thing for a long time. I'm like, I don't get it. It's not for me. So by the time I caught on, it was already over.
Well, I will tell you guys though, so I also am in the John's world around clothes and stuff too. So I go after a lot of that stuff that sells out as well as the sneaker stuff. And one of the things I found in the type of stuff I typically like, there's a whole other segment now I compete against that have no idea even what a sneakerhead is. Right. Not their thing. Right. But when it comes to like the Aimé Leon Dore 990 V2s, when I'm going through my feed and seeing who got them, it's like, oh, that's like a mom on the Upper East Side, and she's like stunting that she got them. I didn't get it. So I think some of the fashions, in particular, because I buy a lot of New Balance, a lot of the fashion side of things have come into certain aspects of sneakers. Right. So all of a sudden you have people that are gunning for those. And so New Balance, like it used to be maybe 18, 24 months ago, the all-time grails for New Balance, and with a few exceptions, but in general, like the concepts like the Rosé and that kind of shoe, you could still find them for like $250.
Right. Oh, yeah,
DS.
You can.
Now, if a New Balance shoe is kind of hyped, it's $500 to $1,000.
Yep.
And that's the thing when it comes like to New Balance. Like Rico comes on our show every once in a while. He talks about how he in the thread, New Balance killed it this year, and it's like we know it, but we want to acknowledge it. Yeah. And it's like you talking about the Aimé Leon Dore. It's like, I think the shoe is incredibly fire. Right. But I don't think it should be as crazy as I ever. I know some GRs that I think are better than those. Like, and I don't understand why everybody.
I love the shoe, but a New Balance at peak should be $350 for like the best of the best.
Right, I agree with that.
Oh, exactly.
You get to like $600, which that Aimé Leon Dore shoe is selling for. I'm like, I'm not going to buy a $600 990 V2.
Facts.
Oh,
that is 100% accurate.
No. I'm not. Like there was some Todd Snyder.
Todd Snyder.
The Todd Snyder Wallabies that just came out. Them joints are so fire. They won $315 something. I was like, I can't do it. I can't pay that for a Wallaby. Like I just can't do it, And I have a friend who works for Clark's, and he always hooks me up and stuff like that. And he can't even get the discount on it. And he's like, he wants them so bad.
You can buy Kith Wallabies for like, I've got a couple of pairs of Kith Wallabies for like $150. Right. That's crazy. $300 for Wallabies not working.
It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think $150 is a lot. Honestly, I pay it, but I think $150 for a Wallaby. $99 should be a Wallaby at max to me.
Yep.
But you're 100% accurate. Like when I look at some of these New Balances now, I'm like, if it's $300 or more, I am immediately like,
it's hard.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? But like a Jordan that like a 6 that I really like, the Travis Scott 6, I'm like 800. Like, I could probably do that. You know what I mean?
Which is crazy.
Which is insane. I mean, I didn't do that either. But But like I could justify that shoe at that price. But looking at that shoe that's also fire, being like, nah, I can't do it.
And see, the justification comes from, I know if I need to get rid of that Travis Scott for $600, I can't.
Yeah, it's an investment.
The New Balance and Asics and all that stuff, and that's why we were talking about, I said, like, the complaint and the talk about materials and stuff. New Balance, Asics, all that materials have never not been fire. Right. So it's like, you complain about this and you're like, you could get this shoe for $280, $300. It has the most premium suede, premium leather, smells good as fire. But it's like, $290.
It's also because we still attach, like I still attach like a New Balance to my dad. You know what I'm saying? Or like my gym teacher or the mailman.
Dad,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm that
like,
dad, but
you are that dad. Facts. I mean, you make it look good, but when I look at it and I'm like,
that's right though.
My dad, you know what I'm saying? My gym teacher wore these. I know he wore these. He sucked. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I don't want to rock these.
See, I don't. I feel like they've become so iconic in the colors, and the trends, and collaborations. That's like out of the window. And then that became the look. I used to always get on people. I'm like, man, y'all love dad shoes, but none of y'all got kids. Like,
Right.
Like, stop calling them dad shoes. You want to look like dad, but you don't. You know. And like we're all older here. Like I'm old. Like I'm old. And George is 40 now. So
I'm the oldest guy ever on the show. So
I don't think so. I don't know. You're not older than George, are you? George is 40.
Yeah, I'm 41.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm 36, 7.
I'm 37.
But my body hurts. So I feel like there's really having many kids. You know, I got 3 kids and 1 in college, and you know, so
yeah. See, I just got on that train.
Oh yeah,
my daughter just turned 9 months. So actually, when Off the Cuff first started, like we had a whole segment about dad shoes, and I was like, see, this is just ain't my vibe. I'm not riding with this. But like ever since doing that, I became a father. Right. So now like I started looking at things, and now because I did shit on them so hard, I have a hard time going back and being like, now maybe I will wear them now.
Nah, that's the best part about sneakers. You could really hate on something until you really see. I watched the last episode you guys had, and you were on his 700s.
Yeah.
And
always. Oh my God, don't get me started.
And look, now my own personally with Kanye, I just not anymore with Kanye.
He canceled.
It's just to me, I love the shoes. Once he started just talking too much, and it wasn't about the politics and stuff. It was like, oh, that's cool. Like I'm Republican, Democrat. No, that doesn't bother me. None of that. It's just like you ain't gotta punch me in the face with it. Like you ain't gotta. And then he started getting weird and all this weird stuff. I'm like, I'm just done with it. But the 700s, the fire. Like you can't deny it.
Dude,
now I said that they are a definition of like to me. Like we always say, they suck but don't suck. Like I look at the shoe and I'm like, we shouldn't like this. But when I see it, it's all right. You know, it's not too bad.
I'm kind of with you. I think they're all right.
Yeah.
There's some shoes, you know, there's like a gray one that was salmon on it, like kind of salmon toe-esque kind of colorway.
The one I was forced to wear for a week?
Yeah, I'll never wear that shoe because I feel like it's a cheap version of a real shoe, but it's not, it's all right.
Right. And that goes back to like the New Balance and all that stuff. It's like, I know that the quality is out of the rules. And I still buy New Balances. Don't get me wrong. Me and George, like, well, George does it. I don't know what happened to him. He used to love them. I buy all of them.
Really?
And then all of a sudden now he just, nah, they suck. I'm like, all right, you tripping. I honestly don't know what
Are you
George
talking
likes.
about Nike snob, George?
Yeah. He calls himself the Boost snob, but he thinks Ultra Boost weren't decade defining. I said, okay, whatever.
I can't let it go.
Shout out
so the 700s, bro, are by far, at least the first ones, at least the first version and the V2s are garbage.
Okay, they're not.
They're bad. I'm gonna tell you right now. I was forced to wear them. I lost a bet to Matt. He ate boogers with hairs on them that he pulled out of his nose, and I was forced to wear them for a week. And which is why I did it.
Wait, isn't that a pause somehow? That's some kind of pause.
Nasty.
Watch it on the episode. It's good. But he did that, and I had to wear these shoes for a week, and I was a man of my word. I wore them every day. I even posted about them every day. That was part of the bet. That shoe was uncomfortable. It was heavy.
Is it really?
Yes.
I've never tried one on.
I haven't either.
Absolutely uncomfortable. I did not like it. And you can come after me. Go ahead.
I heard people say it's like one of the most comfortable shoes.
No, I'm flat-footed as fuck. And I actually really like Ultra Boost. I wore them on set every day because they were so comfortable. But they were like, oh, it has boost. They
may be comfortable to the guy that like has Jordan 1s. Like he only has shoes that are like from the 80s.
No.
So maybe it's comfortable with that guy.
Not only that, but they were super fucking hot. They were so hot. Like there was no breathability to the shoe. So every day I'm like taking it off, letting my foot breathe.
There are certain shoes that are
really
like that.
Hot.
Yeah.
And at the same, all I could think about it was like, this is an Osiris from 1999. Like I'm gonna go do some skates. Like I couldn't find any costumes, so I got a pair of Osiris D3s. You know what I'm saying? Like that was what that shoe felt like. And everybody, I still get so much heat because everybody knows I hate 700s.
That's a nice bet. I mean, y'all bet wearing $300 sneakers.
Hold on. That's the other thing. Why is that shoe $300 fucking dollars?
Now, that's the problem I have with it. It's just way too expensive for that. Like, that is absolutely nuts.
100%. Like, it's not that great.
There's a bigger thing I think we missed with the transition into Kanye brand, which is Kanye was one of the only actual influencers before the whole influencer world.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then he creates his brand, and then we lose one of the only influential
100%.
Fashion guys that existed.
100%.
That's a good point.
He ain't influencing with his own brand. It's more basic stuff.
Right.
But he used to actually change trends, and that does not exist much.
Oh, no, 100%.
There's no one that could absolutely deny that. Like, I will never deny Kanye as for what he's provided for the culture, anything. I mean, the wearing like the pink polos, wearing polos like regularly. Like a polo used to be like, oh, we got to go somewhere semi nice. Like a polo was like, oh, you throw a polo with your jeans, with your Jordans, with your backpack. Like wearing the backpack regularly. Now he would try to jump out the window every once in a while, wear two polos at once. And he would try that stuff. Right. And then it was like, okay, it's cool to wear that. The pastel colors and like the light colors and the Easter looking colors. Like they were reserved for special periods or, you know, stuff. But then he made it like you could wear that every single day. And it was kind of dope too that he was coming out of Chicago. Now we don't know like how much in Chicago, but like, you know, he wasn't like coming out of California or something. It was like, oh, we looked at always had Chicago as like, you know, I don't want to say like, more urban, more serious. It was very, you know, serious.
Midwestern too.
Yeah. So, but you know, going back to what we said about like the Dallas and stuff, not getting stuff. Like we had a guy who he got scammed and he got scammed on eBay for some Travis Scotts, and he was like, "Yo, they want me to like take him somewhere to get authenticated and all this and yada yada yada." And I didn't know where he was located, and I said, "Oh," he said, you know, can I help him out with this? And I said, yeah, just take him to Foot Locker, take him somewhere. You know, he's like, well, I live in, I think in Mississippi. He's like, I have nothing around me. He was like, I have nothing. This is why I'm on here trying to buy these on eBay. He was like, I didn't have the opportunity to go here. And I was like, man, see these. I was like, man, how much would it take for like a Nike to do a pop-up shop in the middle of Kansas or something every once in a while?
Pop-ups are like all the rage right now. Everybody's doing pop-ups. Really I'm like, why can't you do it? And that's one of the reasons why Off the Cut was created, was because I felt like there was an entire region of the country who just gets bypassed, and we're literally we're flyover country.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like if you want heat, you're not getting it here, but we still find a way to have it, right? We have it here. I have all kinds of shit that didn't drop in this area. Like,
I would have straight up Dallas. I would have put Dallas up there.
Think
with
about
like a
city of, or I should say metropolitan area of like 10 million, right? And 90% of my collection is online.
Right.
I was going to ask you, like, are you able to get any of the stuff that you
I try to support the local shops.
Facts.
But like the stuff that's like my long-term stuff, I have to buy online.
Right. And you know,
have to go hunting for
and see, that's the thing with like our local shops, like Manor, he started out, when they started at Manor, it was only getting like Clear Weather, like all these brands to like, you know, you got to prove yourself, you know. And then he got a Nike account, and he got Adidas and all that stuff slowly. And he didn't have an Adidas account when like Boost and it was through the roof, you know, Boost craze. So it was like a sneaker shop with no Boost. Like, what are you gonna do in here? You know, you'd be nice and go buy a pair of sneakers because like that's the homie, that's the shop, you know. But you really was like, God dang, you know. But then now what kind of sucks is the fact that like they're getting some of the stuff so late that like they're still trying to get full price for it. So like, you go in there and they're like, we just got the Ultra Boost 19 and they still want 180. And it's like, I can actually get those off Adidas for maybe $65 now. Right. So it's a hard thing. Is like, I want to support local. You know, I buy a lot of the Manor shirts and hats and stuff like that. But it's like, it's a weird conundrum, you know, when it comes to like, you know, Dallas and Arizona and stuff like that. And I hate when people get mad, like everybody in Arizona, you know, gotta support local. I really do want to support local, but it's so hard when like you do finally get something cool and then everybody wants it. That's it. Like, it's like, well, that's it. Like they get 24. We talk about it all the time. Our Nike would get, like I was telling George, we were on the episode last week, and I said, man, I remember when all my friends would be like, yo, can you help me get a pair of sneakers? Yeah. I was 11 and a half, 11, 12, 13. They'd be, it's not even impossible.
Don't even ask.
Our Nike would get 2 13s. And we had 2 guys that wore 13s and they went to every camp out. If he saw the other guy there, he would leave. Oh, that's it. Like he would, because he knew
they're his.
They're his.
Yeah.
And now it's like those sizes are of abundance. You could get them anywhere. It's you know. And then like we would get mad. I'm like, we're in line for this DB4, and it's like, look, man, we only got 37, and it's like 37. Like it just makes you so mad.
Yes,
you know?
It does.
And then you always have that conundrum, like, you know what, they could be lying. You know, we'll stay outside anyways. About 250 of us outside. And they're like, and they're telling us, we got 37 pairs from here to here. You're not getting them. Nah, you're lying. Nah, we'll stay anyways.
Right. We'll see what's up.
You know, you're lying. And we get in there, they got 37
like,
pairs.
Wow.
You know, that's it.
Stood there for another 2 hours. For
and now you finagling with people walking out with their bags. Yo, I'll give you 350, I'll give you 400, 500.
The crazy thing is that was what it was like. Here, it's still like that.
Yeah.
Because we don't have, I mean, we got 2 shops. 2. I got to Nike Dallas this morning and I reserved a pair of the Breads. I went to go pick them up. Right. There was a fucking line and there was people there waiting, like in front of me, that were trying to get first come first serve, like waiting for them to, they're like, hey, we reserved all of them. Well, I'm here just in case.
Just get nobody.
And I'm like, dog, it's 7 a.m. Right. I'm going to go pick these up, go to the gym, and then go do this podcast. What are you doing for this? You know what I mean? Like,
and I'll be honest with you. I look at this Jordan 11 as like, if you can't get a pair of
You would,
these.
bro, there's 2 million.
Yeah, you know, but it's amazing that we're under the assumption George had went to go pick up something during Black Friday. It was a Yeezy something. And the people in line were like trying to figure out how to use sneakers. And they were, and I was like, like cats don't know how to use it. And I just assumed that they do.
Right.
And he said there were younger people. And I said, he was like, he said that he thought that younger people, that's their lane, social media, sneakers, apps, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, nah, see, younger people, they phones be broke. They barely got a phone.
A lot of cracked screens.
That's all of us is like sneakers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's amazing on how difficult it is to do it because it's like there are people that still think like, I'm just going to the mall and just wait and hang out. And it's like, you don't have to do that. Honestly, if I got to get out, it's rare for me to get up and go.
Right.
Even if I want to reserve it, I'm mad. Like, God dang it, I got to get in the car.
No, facts.
I only do it with my kids. There's a couple of pairs where my kids are like, I really want to get those, and I'll do it with them.
Right.
I'm not doing it for myself.
Yeah. No.
It's funny because
I don't do the Foot Locker minute. You get extra minute. I just don't bother with it. I don't.
I used to. I don't anymore.
Yeah, I tried it, and I was like, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, I'm definitely a one shot. Like if I got good, I'm not going to do all the extra. This morning, I contemplated because how we set this whole thing up. I'm like, I have till noon to pick these shoes up. I really want to get them. But my daughter woke up at 5 a.m. and she was not having this. So like, fuck it, I guess I'm getting up. I might as well go pick them up. You know. But I literally sat there. I'm like, do I even want? Do I care to go 2 miles down the street? Nah.
Yeah.
But see, that's where we go back to like not being angry about L's and stuff like that, because there was a point where, it did bother you. And then at some point, like, I don't know, on our show, I talked about it. Like, I would see people on social media, like adding Nike and adding Virgil and adding everybody.
Yo, them out.
I'm sick of this. Yo, what the heck? Nike, yo, I had him in my cart and it's not anymore. And I'm like, man, haven't y'all realized ain't nobody going to get back to you like, fam, I'm so sorry. You want one now? Yeah. Like, it's just not happening. I was like, there's energy that goes into something that once it drops and sells out, honestly, in sneaker world, it's old. It's already old now.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's like, well, that's it. Because another one is coming out so quick. Dude. And I always said to myself, that's why, like, with Go and StockX and all the places you can buy sneakers, I don't have a problem sometimes paying the extra 50s. I just don't be bothered. And we're all blessed and fortunate enough to be able to do so. So it's like, you know what? I want the winterized Jordan 4s, which the homie James is rocking right now, and they're fire. I'm telling people right now in person, the winterized Jordan 4s are absolute fire. All right.
Fire.
Those are fire. Those are clean. Like, those are better in person than I thought they were going to be.
I agree.
For those, what retail? 200? What is it?
I think 190.
190. I paid $235. I paid $245 just not to be bothered with it. You know what I mean?
Time is money. Like it's weird
really
to say it, but like my time is so much more valuable.
And with our kids, it's like, do I really put all the kids in the car seat, get them in the car, and then tell my wife, like, I'll be back in a little bit. Like, it's like, I don't got time for that. The extra $35, that's like 5 Starbucks. I mean, I'd skip Starbucks next week if I really wanted to.
So Matt, my partner on Off the Cut, he, I called him and was like, hey, come down. Like, you can get down here in time for the podcast. And he was like, bro, it doesn't work like that anymore. I gotta get dressed. I gotta get the kids dressed. I gotta put the clothes on. I gotta drive down there. I gotta get the wife ready. Da, 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 da. He was like, getting there in 3 hours isn't getting there in 3 hours. Right. Like I needed to plan this 5 days ago.
Oh no, I tell everybody. I say, like, you invite me somewhere, you better tell me next week. Like, you better tell me the week before. Like, hey, we're thinking about doing this. Cool. I gotta like set it up. I gotta time it out, work and stuff like that. Like, with what I do is very stressful and all the time, and it's like in my face, and I'm responsible for so many people. And then it's like, hey, yo, come to this restaurant. We about to have dinner and eat. Like, I just can't throw my shirt on. Like, no, I got the kids, and I got to find somewhere to go. And then my wife, she's one of the top realtors in the state of Arizona, so she works on everybody else's time. It's like, they say, I want to see a house now. You either don't do it, don't make no money, or you got to go. So, it's one of those things. So, you had said it was hard for you talking about 2019, thinking about 2019 sneakers.
Yeah.
I'll admit, looking back at 2019, I don't know how I feel about the year in a whole when it comes to sneaker wise. I remember how many times when stuff was about to drop and what we saw coming out, I thought, oh, that's fire. Oh, man, that's fire. I need it. All that fire. Yeah. And then when I looked at it as a totality, I'm like, I was like, I don't know if this year was that good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I had to go back and I looked at a lot of different things. I was like, oh, yeah, that did drop. Oh, yeah, that did drop. But there's a lot of things that, like, I don't know if people consider them heat. So they wouldn't be in people's top 10, but I'm like, fuck, this shoe's awesome. For example, the Turbo Green Air Jordan 1s. Like that's on nobody's list. To me, that shoe is incredible. It's probably my favorite one.
I love it,
barring any of the crazy hype stuff. And
right,
I think that shoe was great. I said it in our first episode of this year. This is a shoe of the year for me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For me,
I love it.
You know what I mean? But I'm like, it'll be on nobody else's list. But this is a shoe for me. Like this is one of the cleanest shoes I've ever worn.
Right. When you brought up the you brought the New Balance, the Ekra, or the
S-Rock.
Love that shoe. Like that was one I will say I was a little mad I didn't get.
Yep.
Like, and I was a little mad because I remember when Concepts was pretty easy to buy off their site.
Yeah.
Like now it's impossible. Like I don't even know how.
Shout out to Dion on that one. I got lucky.
Yeah. See, that's the homie.
He sent me a picture of it.
Definitely the homie.
Matter. I'm like, dog.
Dion's my homie.
I know. I was talking to him the other day because I was like, y'all not coming out with a Christmas shoe this year? Like I said, you guys are one of the last groups that would still come up with a Christmas Nike or something like that. And he said, no, not this year. He said a new holiday next year. So I'm like, that's interesting. So I don't know what he has planned on that. But I was like, well, that's kind of crazy. We don't got a Christmas dunk or nothing. You know?
Yeah. And I'm going to sound like a Grinch, but I'm okay with that.
Huh?
I'm okay with that 100%.
Without any Christmas shoes or
aside from the Kobe Grinch, there is not a Christmas shoe that I think.
Oh, you're out of control.
I'm a Grinch. I'm a Grinch.
Well, okay, we're not wearing any of those ones. I'm not wearing any of those.
None.
They're just all too big, bulky. I'm not wearing any of them. But some of those Christmas colorways I had posted today, some of those Christmas colorways were like the best colorway in like the entire model. Like
you're not lying. You're not lying.
And I can't know that this is a Christmas shoe and wear it if it's not during December.
Right.
I can't.
Right.
Even if it don't got a tree on, I don't care if it's just red and green lace. I can't do that.
Right.
You know.
We were doing our Christmas episode, right? We're planning for it and trying to get everything ready. It hasn't dropped yet, obviously, but I literally started looking through my collection. I'm looking. They're like, what shoes do you want? I'm like, I don't have any Christmas shoes.
Right.
I'm like, I can pull out the Grinches, but that's going to be obvious. So I ended up pulling out Cherry 11 Lows and wearing them with red socks. Really? And I was like, candy canes. Not even candy canes. And then that's when I came to the realization, sitting in my room, preparing for a Christmas episode, that I didn't like Christmas shoes.
And see, I just put the red lace in one Safari Air Max 1 and the green lace. That's my Christmas shoe.
Oh, man.
Like, I don't know. And it's weird because I have tons of shoes that I've yet to wear or worn once that I have no problem with. But let me think about, this is just a Christmas shoe. I can only wear it once a year. And all of a sudden I have a problem with it.
Greg's trying to like represent the animals going to baby Jesus manger.
Yeah, you see? There you go. See, that's the nativities. That's what them are.
I don't know if this transitions us into this, but on the whole complex list thing,
right?
One of the things, your boy DJ Clark Kent, the guy that doesn't know that the 997S is a shoe, he thinks it's 9975. I did think he made a good point, which is, he was like, I can't come up with more than 6 kind of sneakers of the year.
Right.
That point's not wrong.
Oh, no, you're right.
It's not.
It's not. And to me, though, the evidence is 2 things on the list in particular. One was the Adapt BB should never be a sneaker of the year. I'm not even going to go to your point around the mag because I kind of get both sides of that. So it's not about that. But Adapt BB is not a sneaker.
No.
And
not even close.
The Travis Scott being in the top 3, it's not that it's not a good shoe, but being in the top 3 means it's a whack sneaker year. To me. Travis
Scott shoes are such a I don't really know how I describe them. Like, I love the shoes.
I call them staples. They're staple shoes.
Of course.
They're not fire.
I really like. I have the 6s. Like, I have the 6s, and I love the shoes a lot. When I finally saw the one, I had never seen the ones in person probably until like a few months ago. I saw the one. I'm like, man, these are really nice. These are really good quality. Like, this ain't too bad.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time with. Well, you know what? The reason why I do love them so much is because he did a collaboration, but he actually did something to the shoe.
Yep.
Turn the swoosh around.
Yeah. Right.
And the fact that he was able to put, because I was arguing with used to be on Full Size Run.
Rich Mate Lopez.
I mean, him are going back and forth. And I told him, because I said, Travis Scott clearly runs Jordan Brand now. Like, it's not even a question.
No question.
Like, if you can say, put my Cactus Jack logo on this Jordan, like, that is crazy. Like,
fact.
I don't care if you wear Jordans or like Jordans anymore. Right. Jordans are legendary sneakers. Like, that was the staple of, like, man, you got Jordans. Like,
100%.
Period. Right. So I could say, tons of Jordans suck. And I go, those suck. But no, I'm respectful. Like, don't be disrespectful.
Yeah.
So I said that was man, he's running things. So I do put his up there high, and I feel like putting the Jordan 1 high in the top 3. You kind of like have to, but I don't know if I really feel.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, he took a risk like he changed up a classic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it may seem like ridiculous, but just turning the swoosh around, that's a big deal. Like, when has that ever happened?
And you
before?
wonder why no one ever did it.
No one. Or adding the little pocket on the 6.
It's amazing that people can still come up with new ideas.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the dunk that's getting ready to come out with the shark swoosh. It's like, why didn't Nike start altering swooshes a long time ago?
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts. And like you guys that did the Kristen Blacks, like you guys that and the little wave and the swoosh, like it's like
the little swiggle.
You know, I kind of was thinking about that one today. I think, and she got a silhouette to work on.
Right.
I think if you put that on a silhouette that's more classic, that might be a top 10 for me. Well, that colorway is really good.
It's really done well.
Speaking of swooshes, I mean, I think you talked about it in your last episode, but the Dornbecker Air Force One with the flower,
with the flowers,
that was fire.
I was like,
so fire.
It's really good. And
like, who thought that maybe we should mess with the swoosh? And bing, there's the idea.
But when you go back to the Cactus 6, it's like the color's cool and all that and stuff like that. Because I talked about Jordan 6. I was like, Jordan 6s to me have always had some of the worst colorways ever.
Yeah.
And the little pocket on the side and like, it's like, why does that make it so much better for somebody? I'm never wearing them. I have them in the closet, but I'm not gonna.
It's definitely not a good shoe anymore. That's my
no, it's not. It's not.
I can disagree immensely. I finally put them on, so they didn't just sit in my box.
Right.
We showcased them on the show, and I put them on, and I was like, instantly, I was like, oh my God.
But you got to know, James, if the Jordan 34 was a 6, you'd be like whack as fuck.
The 34 is trash.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
But if it was the same silhouette as the 6, but it was a Jordan 34.
That's a really good, that'd be a really good social experiment if you switched the ones around, like if you switched what's now like the 34, if you switched that was the one, and they're like, how much would we... That'd be really nuts.
The 6 is proven. That's a classic
It is, but do you wear any other 6?
Yeah.
Oh, you see, okay. See, you wear them regularly. The Jordan 6
I would say regular. So again, I'm old, so I mean infrareds for sure. The maroons are awesome. I think the maroon joints are
colorway great, shoe bad.
Yeah, no, I still disagree. I really like it. Coming from like where it gone.
Yeah, you wear high tops.
It's the greatest Jordan of all time to me. In my opinion, like for my favorite, I don't think it's better than a 1. I don't think it's my favorite Jordan of all time.
Yeah,
won the first championship in it. I've always loved it. The colors have been simple and stuff like that.
Yep.
But when I put it on, it's just way too high.
I'm like George.
And I think I thought that until I put them on. When I finally put them on, I'm like, okay, and I'm short, dude. So like for me, anything really high looks ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
so
like, that's why I tell everybody. Like I don't wear LeBrons. Like
not having it. Right. So when I put those on, I'm like, just the way they fit. I'm like, these are money. I mean, coming from like the 5, which was a bulky shoe, giant to this little streamlined. I mean, it made my feet look good. I mean, the color was something I haven't worn before.
Right.
So, I mean, I personally thought the shoe was dope.
I was going to say, I kind of connect. George has said a few times he has white cements, which is his shoe, and he hasn't worn them.
Right.
I found the same thing. White cement was my shoe growing up as well, and I eventually sold them because I'm like, I'm never wearing the shoe. But it's still my favorite.
And see, I feel like I couldn't sell it if it's my favorite.
No facts.
Keep it.
I can't.
You gotta keep it. You gotta keep the one that I favorite. I would never give it to my.
It's like $250. So if I ever feel like I made a mistake, then I'll just go buy it.
Then that's the benefit of like being where we are now and being blessed with careers.
Yeah, but there was a time where white cements were not $250.
Oh yeah, no. They were on sale.
Midnight,
$88.
But then before they re-released what 2011, 2012 when they first before
12, I think
when they had the Jumpman on the back. Before then, if you wanted a pair of white cements, you were shelling out money.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it was like
I had to camp out for those. Like,
facts.
I was out there. I remember when they came out, and I thought,
Did you camp out for a replica, Greg?
Yeah, and it's a replica because it's a replica. Anything without. Okay. If it has a Jumpman on the back, and I know there's an OG version with the swoosh in the back, it's a replica. It came from a Jordan brand, fine, but it's a replica.
So you messed with my head on that because I used to be that on the OGs, and now I can't even buy the retro with the Jumpman on.
I'm not buying anything with the Jumpman on the back. I'm not because
none of it's available with a.
If it's available, with the swoosh on the
even
back.
if there's only a Jumpman version, then I won't buy the shoe.
And see, like this,
but see, you would.
Oh no, see these, I would.
Yeah,
I would buy because This isn't an OG.
Yeah.
Now I don't know why they just can't put the swoosh on the back. Like, give me the swoosh.
They gotta keep it.
I get it, but it's like, give me the swoosh, man.
Facts.
Like, just put the tab on the back.
Once you started putting them on,
they
everything else, put it back.
these came out a week ago, Air Max 1s, and they put Nike Air on the back of them, and that's just as old as those Jordans.
Yeah.
So I don't get why it's different with Jordan versus an Air Max 1.
I mean, Jordan brand trying to keep themselves apart from Nike, which is unfortunate, but
boring.
So let me go through the list of complex list real quick. So this is Complex Conversations, when they have their, yearly event. Yeah. And it was Yachty, which I just don't understand, but God bless. Mm-hmm. Clark Kent, Jillipum was like moderating, and Sean Witherspoon was on there, which I didn't say much. Yep. He's not a talker, and that video with him,
he's very happy though.
He is. Him putting the Dior's on, that video just made me
cringe, bro.
Cringe.
Wow.
It was how he acted with them. He was like, oh my.
I told James earlier, I'm like, Sean wakes up and he opens his eyes and there's rainbows, man. He's just happy.
Yo,
he's just happy.
He's really happy.
But here's the thing: there's Sean Witherspoons that you expect to hear. Then you heard this guy, like when he was talking. Like you're still memorizing your script. Like the nose was so brown. Oh my God, it's like an instant classic.
Yeah, that video.
And then Aleli May, right? Weird. We got one more. Aleli May was on there too.
Yeah, she was
with
on there
fire
as well.
shades.
So
I was helping you with the pronunciation, Greg.
I
think you've
God.
10 things.
I'm sitting here thinking like
Aleli May.
I'm like, someone say it. Someone say it.
Yeah.
They had number 10. They had Nice Kicks, which is a Texas staple.
Pass.
Yeah. But
it's a pass.
It's not a top 10.
No.
The Nice Kicks Ultra Boost tie dye.
My view on that one is they put it on because that group thinks that there are two brands in sneakers for the most part,
right.
Adidas and Nike. And so, but it's so inferior to the original Nice Kicks tie dye shoe that's kind of weird for me to be like, it's in our top 10 now. That means this year sucks.
Yeah. And I do like the tie dye shoe a lot, but it's like there are so many shoes that you see and you're like, oh my God, that's right. When you actually get it, you're like, you almost have to just make yourself wear it. It's not like something you could just throw on,
right.
you know?
Right.
Number 9, they had the Undercover Daybreaks. Now, I will tell you this. When those pictures came out, I hated them.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
Love them.
Love them.
I love that shit.
I like, but I don't like the original two colors. The black and blues.
I like the blue.
Oh, I love the blue and the yellow.
No.
Like,
I got the
blue and yellow are my two favorites.
I love the women's colors too.
The green joints, the women colorway with the
green and red.
Yeah.
That's a Christmas. That could be a Christmas shoe.
I wore that. Remember when Knowledge first opened? There was a day they dropped.
I remember you got those.
I waited so that we had an event to go to.
Good shoe.
At the sneaker shop, Knowledge down in downtown, and I was like, I'm gonna be fucking late because I'm waiting for the shoes to arrive because I had the fit ready to go. I was waiting for the shoes, and my Nike dude or the UPS guy was late. Finally, literally, my girl was like, we have to leave.
On the record, right. I have a size 13 in those. They don't look like girl shoes. So
no, they don't.
That's my
no, they don't.
My contrast to DJ Clark.
No, facts.
They don't.
For real, I don't get that.
He said they looked feminine or whatever.
No, he said girl shoes.
Yeah, and I was like, that one looks like a girl shoe.
Yeah, I don't get it.
There are so many other ones that look like.
And I have the same size as him. They don't. I don't see.
Yeah, them joints. I love them.
Yeah.
Number 8, they had the 350 V2 Black. Now
boring.
It's a boring shoe, but when I see people wearing it, I was at Best Buy standing in line to return something or pick up something from whatever. And about 7 people in line had them on, like guys. And I text George like, there are so many people wearing these black Yeezy V2s. I think they're a good looking shoe and I like them, but
that's the welcome to Walmart.
Well, what it is
350. Hi, everybody. It's the all black, like out of the 3. So I'm tired of 350s in general, but out of all the ones that dropped this year, that's the one?
Over 40 guy says it's the late to the game shoe now.
So no, it is.
Yeah,
it is. And
I would have done the glows in there long before I would have ever done that.
I hate the fact that I do feel this way because when getting into sneakers, I'm sorry. When I got into sneakers, I mean, I've been into sneakers since I was 4th grade. Like I've never not been in a sneaker, which is why I know I'm addicted. Like I've never not. Like I tell people, I'm like, I didn't just start this. I've never not. And I'm sorry. I loved putting the sneakers on and walking through elementary school, middle school, college, and seeing people like lose their minds. Loved it. And I still love it. Now when I see Yeezys on you can go to the grocery store and see somebody like, and you're like, I mean, he looks kind of hip, but it's like, man, he got him too. I went to my son's school, like family night, Christmas festival thing. there were so many Yeezys on dads in there, and I thought, well, we're all kind of young, but no, they just they can get
I don't
them.
see it as hate against the shoe because I think there's nothing wrong with how I'm going to describe it. But to me, it is somebody that's not into. When I see somebody, I'm like, oh, they're not really into sneakers.
Exactly.
That's which is totally okay. And by the way, there are people that are very into sneakers that like them, and that's great too.
Right.
My first reaction, if I don't know them from anybody and I see them at the grocery store in them, I'm like, they're not into sneakers, but they want, they wanted to buy a pair of Yeezys, which is great.
They're the new Ultra Boost.
Yeah.
It really is. Which I'm not mad at that. Yeah. It's like, you know what?
No, there's no hate on that.
Yeah,
there's not.
That's a good point. That's a good point. It's like, it's just a Ultra Boost. Yeah. So it's not.
They're the starter kit sneaker.
But I liked how special they did make you feel at one point.
Yeah,
I still feel like the
they're just not that anymore.
Like the first variation.
Nothing wrong with them.
If you still wear those, you still stand out. Now, if you're wearing a 350, I mean,
you can go buy them on like all the sites
everywhere.
Pretty much retail. Like you can, $10 over maybe now.
Yeah.
They had number 7. They had the 997 Amy
Leon Dor. There you go.
Fire shoe.
Fire.
When I put it in the top 10, I don't know. Because there's so many other versions of New Balance 99 that came out this year that I think are so much better.
You don't have them, right?
No.
So the thing I will say on them, just as somebody that's into New Balance, they're definitely too expensive. The things I liked as a New Balance guy, if you say that's part of the top 10 culture, so to speak, is they're very similar to the Unions in terms of the vibes. If you're into gray New Balances and stuff, so the laces are kind of yellowed.
Right.
There's like they're not gray, they're kind of more cream, but it's kind of faded. So it's that kind of feel on foot.
Right.
And so that's what I like about them is they have that kind of age vibe that doesn't show up on Instagram, but I really like that about them. And New Balance doesn't make white cream shoes. They're like gray or vivid colors. Right. And so it's kind of unique, but I totally get it's kind of simple, but for me, definitely top 10.
I wouldn't put them in my top 10. They're a great shoe. Don't get me wrong. I actually really like them.
Did you guys have those on the show?
No, we had the other ones.
We had the
bodegas.
Yeah, you had both bodegas on there, which I hate those.
Yeah, we've had a couple New Balances. We haven't had any of the of these. But I actually, if I was going to put one in my top 10, and I actually do have it in my top 10, is what released later in the year, the 990
I don't
V2.
like those.
Because it's the best shoe of the year to me.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
And Georgia, I think Georgia probably say the same thing.
The 990 V2 ALD, that's my favorite. Now, let me correct though, it's not worth the price it's on the market for.
I think that's the problem I have with it.
Yeah.
Like I look at it, I'm like, yo, that's a nice shoe, but it's like, man,
I'm assessing it where it should be, which is about $300, and now I would buy that shoe.
It's like $700, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it should be priced right around where the V5 was that they dropped as well. Yep. They dropped together. Like if they were relatively close, those are like $250.
You can almost get those for retail now.
Right.
The V5.
So they should be around there. I mean, they're great. They look awesome, but there's nothing about that shoe that screams $700 to me.
Right. And now I don't. And now I haven't seen either one in hand or person yet. And I like, which makes the Travis Scott and other shoes so great is the fact that like it's a collaboration and there's something on it that I know it's a collaboration.
Right. Yeah.
Is there anything on it that indicates?
Well, so it says Ame Leon Dor on the side, which in the New Balance world is unique because they never let the collaborator put the tag on there.
Oh, really? Okay.
And they put a tag, like a little hang tag on the side of it. You know how the off-whites for the audience have the orange?
Yeah.
It has a Ame Leon Dor, and then on the back, instead of NB, it says ALD.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's
so
cool.
they added some subtlety.
Oh, okay. See, I was like, man, it's just, that's why I see GRs. I'm like, man, anybody can make the colors, you know. They had, obviously, number 6, the Adapt BB. Which
Trash.
Why is that
it's not even close. Now, like I said about the Mags being a decade-defining sneaker to me because the other technology. Not because it's like, it was always like, we wanted that. Everybody saw Back to the Future. Everybody like, oh man, that's crazy. And I always joke about, like, I go back, I love watching old movies from the 70s and 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And when they thought the future was, I'm watching like Escape from LA and it's like the year 2000 or whatever. And it looked like apocalyptic, like the world. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that's crazy. But the fact that we actually have like this technology that reads like once every month, 3 months, something that could tie themselves up, I respect it a lot. Now that you can actually hoop in it and play and it stays tight, I guess, you know, that's cool. But top 10 of the year is crazy.
I think the challenge, your argument at some point, I think will hold up. So there will be a time where when you're playing football, your shoe constantly changes based on what you're doing.
Right.
And it will have started with that. and it'll be like, oh wow, like nobody would lace up their shoes in football 20 years from now. I think now we're so close to the OG, like, you know, all it does is just tighten the laces.
Right.
It's kind of like, I kind of like having laces. I get the people that say I like laces.
Yeah. I agree
there will
with,
be a time
on that
you get faster because of the shoes you wear, and then, but it started here. And so I get where your point's coming from. It's just, I think we're too far off from the actual impact of that innovation for people to get it.
And plus, like, not all of us have it.
Right.
So
So I mean, I got them and I tried them on an instant. Like I remember, like.
So you have them?
No, I got rid of them.
Oh,
fast.
I had Earls before those.
No. So I got the BBs. I bought them and I dumped them almost an hour after getting them, and I don't do that. I keep most of my shoes.
Right.
So these, I grabbed them and I put them on my foot, and like I'd seen the videos and I heard the sound, but like instantly put them on, and like as soon as I hit the button, it made that ridiculous fucking sound. It sounded like I was dialing up for the internet. Which it was just fine. You know what I'm saying? If this was 94 and we were dialing up the internet, but I'm standing on the street corner. It's like I farted in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just this weird, my shoes literally falling, you know, I don't know. It's making noises. It doesn't look cool. It doesn't, there's nothing about it that I was
I've never seen anybody even wearing them.
No.
Fact, but yet it's on a list.
I have never seen a single person wearing them.
Yeah, I've seen them at a sneaker event, like on a table. I've seen them like, oh, okay, but I've never seen a person wearing them.
I've seen people try to hoop in them, like in the gym.
Oh, really? I mean, really? I haven't seen that either.
I may need to get those for my kids. They may be like killing those.
Beckett and Henry with the crossovers on the DVD.
Number 5, they had the MCA Air Force One off-white.
Good shoe. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm not mad at it. And I think Air Force One had a great year this year. Like, and I'm not an Air Force One person, but I did buy some at the end of the year. Like I bought the interchangeable swoosh ones a few weeks back, and I used to be big on Air Force Ones, like when you're younger.
All right, I got a question on Air Force Ones for you.
Yeah.
So to me, there's a lot of different white Air Force Ones that look like different iterations of it. The MCA, what I like about it is it's not that and looks good. But other than the different iterations of white Air Force Ones, do they look good in any other color?
Volt green.
I mean, they do. It's just.
Are we sure?
The Air Force Ones?
A lot of my Air Force Ones were always crazy colors. I had like the
right back in the day. There was a time I thought they looked good, but I as I started, you know, you guys were talking about that they were coming on, and I'm like, I'll check out the whole archive. I went through the entire catalog on StockX just to see like
right.
And I ended up not finding one to bid on because I have like 5 white oriented ones, and I'm like,
and see, that's the thing too. Like I'll say,
like white ones, plain white, or like the shoe itself?
No, I have like. The Sheeds, best.
You love the
best
Sheeds.
patent leather of all time.
Oh, best patent leather, this man.
And I have like a Cold Walls. Yeah. I have the John Elliott's and another one or two, but they're all kind of similar.
And see, I do your point. I do agree with it to a certain extent because back then I felt like when you bought Air Force Ones, like you get the white, the black, whatever. But then at some point the colors started getting wild, and we always had to have the colors. And then I think at some point I would have thought like, oh, a white with a black swoosh, that sucks. When I see a white with a black swoosh, now I'm like, well, that's gonna fire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do I think this white with just
classic,
a black swoosh is fire? And then it came out with the black with the white swoosh. I'm like, man, I'm debating. And I'm like, these are the basic colors. I'm like, they look better in those colors. I bought the white with the interchangeable swoosh, like an off-white swoosh, a navy blue swoosh, and a yellow swoosh. And I sent it to the homies like, yo, that's the one I copped. And they were like, that's it? And I'm like, that's it? That joint is fire.
It's clean.
Like, it's fire.
You know what? Linens are good. So there's another color that, you know, the linen, linen kit did the retro.
And I thought I hated them. I like linens.
Those are good.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not buying them, but I like them.
But
I wasn't the biggest. I wasn't the biggest Air Force One guy like ever. And most of the time is because they always creased really awkwardly. Did you ever notice that?
It's huge.
They made these
They're just
weird,
gigantic on me.
But I have to get them a half size small.
Really?
Yeah, wear them in a 12 and a half, Greg.
Yeah.
They look like boats, man.
So this year, I bought more Air Force Ones this year than I probably have in my entire life. And it was, I mean, before I got the off-white, the Volt colorway.
Right.
And I love that because I love everything Volt. Anything bright green, holler at me.
We've all had a Volt period.
You know
I think I bought every single Volt at one point.
But then, like, that was kind of it. And then I had the Travis one sales, and then he dropped his most recent one, the Cactus Jack. That shoe, fire. But my favorite one so far was the G-Dragon.
Really?
Yeah, I really liked it.
I do like it. My favorite this year was the snakeskin.
Oh, 100%.
It's just a snakeskin swoosh.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm like, why do
That's my point.
this?
See? White with a snakeskin swoosh, perfect.
Right.
I really like the black and white ones, just, the Craigs.
I like the G4. I like the G-Dragons. I like those, but I thought they were too expensive.
Well, I don't even remember the price.
They were $200.
Yeah.
$200 for an Air Force One.
When you think about how much
crazy.
you'd pay for something else, I was like, I wasn't that mad at it.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like you said, you'll consider a Cactus Jack 6 at $800, but then like Air Force One,
you know,
you're a big daffodil guy too.
Facts. So. That's what. Hey, crazy thing. It's gonna sound weird, but what attracted me to the shoe? So I was at Sneaker Politics, and they have this shake back that they do, which is like an hour event where you can come in and try to do some shit. And I was just kind of hanging out because I like to go to all the events and just be around the people, you know. And that was one of the shoes that they were raffling off, and nobody wanted it because nobody knew it was a G-Dragon shoe. It had nothing. It had no history.
What is G-Dragon? I don't even know what that is.
G-Dragon is a Korean pop star.
Yeah.
So think of like the Backstreet Boys times a gazillion.
Oh man, I thought it was like a
anime. No. So he's the lead. He's the main dude. He's a Justin Timberlake of a group called Big Bang, I think. Yeah, Big Bang.
I definitely don't know that.
I researched it because we did an episode on it on Off the Cut. Okay. Hasn't dropped yet, but I didn't know that.
All right.
So he had this, you know, this his label called Peace -1, which is basically how the world works. Everybody looks for this utopian society, but there's always the one thing that keeps it from being that. So Peace -1, whatever. But I saw the shoe and it was just a black Air Force One. I was like, yo, it's clean, simple, nothing to it. And it had a daffodil or a little daisy on it. And I was like, gotta fly. I'll rock with it. And it had the fat ass laces, reminded me of like skate shoes.
I do like that.
So I told him, I was like, yo, just put me down for those. Fuck it, whatever. And it was because there was a bunch of other shoes dropping.
Right.
I got them. And then like he told me like 2 weeks later when everybody announced it's a G-Dragon, and they were like $1,000 million in all over the country. My name was on them. I was cool with that.
I do like them. I just wasn't paying no $200 for them. Number 4, they had the Jordan 4 OG.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put it in the top 10 because I mean it's a classic shoe, but I can't put something that like if that came out every single year, you probably put it every single year. It's like.
Yo, I struggle with on that one is I didn't hear anybody that had the quote unquote replicas saying that they needed the Nike Air on the back of that one.
Right. I have them, and it was my very first time owning black ones. I've owned all 4. I've never owned black ones, and something is wrong with my pair. I
heard that a few weeks ago.
I don't know what it is about it. Every time I put it on, I'm like, these can't be authentic. Like, and I got them from Nike. I'm like, something is
it can't be authentic.
I put on my white cements. I put on Legend Blues. I put on charcoals. I put on all the other ones. Oh my God, there we go. I put those on. Cuts weird. It's like lopsided. Yeah. Something is wrong with them. But I can't put a historical OG sneaker like that in that because they retro so much. You can argue every single year it's one. You could put Red 11s in it like that. It's like
right. Well, I mean, and they released 2011, 12 was the last time that they dropped with the replicas, as my esteemed colleague here would call them. So what bothered me about that is that the Cool Grays dropped in the same year, and that shoe hasn't dropped since 2004. And that shoe's fire. How do you skip that?
I like Cool Grays now, but I've never been a Cool Gray. I don't think I like gray on sneakers.
I love gray.
Like I don't think I own any gray.
There's only one brand that does gray right.
Oh,
so I'm
get
not
the fuck out of
here. Honestly, there really is.
They do it right, but that's where he was going.
That's a really good point. Like, I don't think I own any gray sneakers, and I'm like,
I've got 28 gray New Balances.
No.
The same shoe.
Once you said that, I'm like, what am I talking about? I got plenty of gray sneakers. They're all New Balances, though. Like a gray, I just never understood.
None of my New Balances are gray. Not a single one.
Really?
No,
You're missing out.
If you don't got a gray New Balance, you might have to go through your collection.
We talk about this regularly.
You may be canceled.
I'll send him a picture of like my New Balance. He's like, oh, fire. And then where's the gray one?
You gotta have a gray one.
Not a one.
I think you gotta have one just to make the rest of the New Balance in your closet feel safe.
Hey, man.
That's the father. That's the dad's shoe. They ain't got dad in the closet. You got a bunch of kids.
Send me a pair. I'll put it in the rotation. I'll borrow one of yours and just let it sit there. You
got a bunch of kids in there with no dad. They all fatherless.
My New Balances are all bastards.
Number 3, they had Cactus Flea Market Vapor Max.
Fire.
I loved them.
That is my number 1 shoe of the year.
But I didn't like how we told George, I talked about it, and I said there are a lot of fire Vapor Max out there, and I get why this is attractive, but I feel like if you didn't like Vapor Max at all, you can't be like, oh, this is the greatest one ever. Like, I love it, but
I don't know. I think it was the little details. Everything about the shoe was just different.
It was.
It doesn't look like
I think Vapor Max is. So I was thinking about that when I watched the Complex show this morning. I kind of think Vapor Max has ended up being that shoe. So for a lot of people, there's only 2 or 3 they like. Like,
facts.
I like the clots that now George has.
Same.
Yeah.
And these, I think I'm like 5 birthdays past being able to wear these. Because I don't need Just Do It on my shoes at 41. Like,
No,
that's a
nonsense.
little bit much.
No.
But
I disagree with that 100%.
Oh, okay. I like
think this
that.
is a shoe you have to have. Like, I love everything about
can't
it.
buy 'em.
I love the little happy faces on the back. The how each shoe, each side is different. The colors. I mean, the whole shoe is just
I like the shoe,
all
but it's
kinds
not
of shit.
for me.
Like,
to me, it is the number one shoe of the year.
Like you talk about, like you were going to knowledge and like you like to be out to people and stuff like that. I like to try to do that as much as I can, but a lot of the people that me and my wife hang out with, friends and stuff like that, they're not into sneakers. So I always end up being like the conversation, like, man, look at Greg. I hate that. So like when I wear something like that, they're like, oh, just do it, a smiley face on. Like I get all of that and I get this attention that isn't like, oh, those are cool. It's more like, Greg got new sneakers again. It's like, so.
That's exactly why I can't buy them.
Right. So now if I buy those and I go to a sneaker shop and hang out with people that are into it, oh, those are fire. I'm the guy, you know, but we go to, you know, hey, Jill and John are having a Christmas party and I got them. I'm tying them up like, ooh, I'm about to kill them.
Yeah.
I'm not killing them. They're like, oh, those are nice. What are those?
nonsense.
They're heads only. They're not.
I'm
for mass
breaking
public.
Jill and John's necks all day.
Yeah, but see,
because they're walking around in their Sperry's and their bullshit, and I'm like, look, you can't even see me. So
yeah, but see, that's when I throw on my Tabagos and throw my stuff.
Don't be ashamed of it. Just run with it.
No, but that's
don't be ashamed of it.
I talk about like getting to a certain age where it's like I start feeling ridiculous, and I'm like, oh, like I don't like that feeling. Like I used to. I mean, I think I might have had every single Mitchell and Ness jersey of all time. And lately, I've been looking. I'm like, man, I really want to buy them. And then I'm like, what would I be doing in this?
No, my jersey days ended long ago.
Yeah,
but
like,
my sneaker thing, that is to me.
Oh, sneakers!
Sneakers have always been like so synonymous with individuality for me.
Right.
So like, I don't want to wear this. Like when I walk into a room and everybody's in their Gucci loafers, that's great. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I got my clots on. Eat a dick. They're just as expensive as yours.
Now see,
Horse bits are fire.
See, and that's and that is I understand and I get it. It's just those moments where like you just kind of feel a little like,
course.
Like right, well maybe I should just throw some.
But that's why it's not a shoe of the year for me.
It also
it's
the same argument I have with and I've had this conversation with many kids because people are like, oh well, sneakers are for young kids. You're rocking Jordans. That's what kids wear. I'm like, no. That's my generation, homie.
Like,
you're in my scene.
Stop. Yeah.
So it's not like I'm doing something that I haven't always done. So when we go out to dinner and it's our friends that aren't shoe heads, they're like the conversation. I'm like, cool. Let's talk about something I really know because I know you really want to talk about my shoes. You don't have Bob. You have nothing exciting to talk about.
He's got the new Allbirds.
Yeah, he definitely got the new Allbirds for sure.
Allbirds. Number 2. So you guys are fine with that?
I'm okay.
Are you fine within the top 3?
Yeah.
No?
No. It's like 8 or 9 for me.
Oh, you're talking to a man who's got 5 New Balances in his top 5.
Yeah.
But it's hard to argue them though.
I mean, I'll battle it.
Number 2, they had the Travis Scott High, which you talked about.
Yeah.
And number 1, they had Sakai Waffles.
I'm okay with it.
To me, Sakai Waffles is a sneaker of the year.
Top 3 for me for sure.
Like
number 2.
Okay,
yeah, so we're pretty much
only and we talked about this earlier. The only reason why it's not because the shoe isn't great is because there's too many of them.
Yeah,
you can't call the shoe of the year because which shoe are we talking about?
Yeah,
because to me, if you put
like it.
Right, if you put the cactus plant and you give me the all black or black and white, black and gray Sakai cactus plant, you give me a green one, we can talk about it. You give me the red one, there's conversation. But there's a shoe that's better than one of those. You see what I'm saying?
That's kind of what is kind of crazy with like collaboration to sneakers right now is that it used to be like a collaboration.
Yes.
Like you said, there's about 5.
Cactus plant.
I think there's now the Cactus Plant Vapor Max. There is only that one.
That's why it wins.
Know? That's only that one. The Amy Leo D.
That one.
There's about 4 now? 3?
There are 2 997s, 99V2, and 99V5.
And they all came out within like this 2
same year
block. So it's like, man, like the collaborations are like this. We had too many of them. We had 3 Air Force One Off-Whites this year.
Right. Yep.
We're about to drop 3 Air Force One Dunks this year. You're about to drop Off-White Dunks this year. Like it's like, man, so that's a good point.
That was my biggest problem with it, and it was biggest problem from the start when it was like, look, it's shoe of the year. I'm like, well, which shoe? Because there's a bunch of. Because if you put the original green one up against anything, I'm down. Let's talk about that. But if you're gonna throw like the Barney colorway and you're gonna put that up against Cactus Plant and be like, oh, it's shoe of the year. Hell no.
It's kind of crazy because the same thing happened with Undercover Daybreaks. There's
exactly.
There's about 6 colors. They dropped 2 at the same time.
There's 2. When there's more than one shoe, it can't be shoe of the year. Collaboration, sure, maybe I would give you collaboration.
It's a hard discussion.
I hear that,
and I'm not saying that because I love the Sakai's. They're so fire.
Right.
I have all of them. But if I'm sitting there and I'm holding one shoe in one hand and the other in the other, and we're discussing which one's better, depending on which Sakai I have in my hand, it might not be better.
That's the hard thing in the dialogue.
You know what I mean? So that's why I chose the cactus plant, because there's only the one, and that one has. There's no other one. It's not like
the one thing I would say though on Sakai versus cactus plant. I think there's some of like, oh, you're the sneaker guy with the cactus plant shoes. Like, oh, you're the cute little sneaker guy that wears sneakers and you're an adult. At least on the Sakai, it looks like an adult shoe that's in like kind of funky.
Right.
Yeah, but you're the adult with a fucking with a spoiler on the back.
Yeah, but like I think they did really well trying to make it cooler. Yeah. Like nobody cares.
You know what's interesting? Is that the shoes that we're talking about, the cactus plant and the Sakai's, were both designed by women.
Right.
And that's fire.
Which is cool.
You know what I'm saying? That
cool.
is awesome.
And that was the whole thing I always said with women designers. They got to let them do men stuff too.
You know what's crazy to me is that on that whole list that we just did, that Complex did, Lady Mae was one of their people.
Right.
Her 6 should have been in that list.
Over the nice kicks.
Over the nice kicks.
Boost.
Over
Probably.
the breads. It should, and it's in my list. That 6 was fucking crazy.
What's your list? Let me hear your list.
Let me go with my list. Okay.
We good on time? Okay.
Okay. Right. Let's see, my list. Number 10, and I threw this in at 10 because it wasn't in 2019. It was at the tail end of 2018.
So why you got it in here?
Because it was like the 28th.
If you say Union Ones.
No. They're not even on my list.
Ones.
Me too. But that was 2018. This was, I think they released on the 28th of December. That's why I threw them in. A couple days. This is the Concept Lobster SB, the green joint.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
It's number 10. It's at the back of my list. I like that shoe. Threw it at the end because I don't know why Complex does this. The year's not over, but we're already claiming the shoes. Right. There's still a bunch of shoes to be dropped.
I don't even know if you necessarily even have to number them. You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah. No, right. All right. So Lobster, the green lobster, number 9. The Pigeon SB lows, the pandas.
No.
Bottom, and I like them just because they brought them back. But this will be I was just filling space.
That's not even.
I was filling space. We'll get into my actual list.
See,
number 8.
You're making a good point for like top 6 of the year.
I'm moving up. This is just a filling area.
Right.
7 and up is where it matters, but I threw the 8 in there.
Right.
The Ame Leondor 997 V2s. That's my number 8.
Or 990 V2s.
990 V2s. Thank you. My number 7.
How dare you?
Right. Number 7. The MoMA Air Force Ones.
The black ones. Yeah.
Okay. The 6 is the S-Rux New Balance.
Oh yeah.
Number 6.
Not even a question to me.
And I put the Travis Air Force One at number 5 because it's in the middle of the pack.
It's hard not to.
Right. That's why I threw it in there. It's not going to be my top. I could reverse those two, 6 and 5 all day long. Number 4, the Alelia May 6s. Number 3, the Bodega New Balance No Days Off.
You love that 6.
Facts.
You post that 6 a lot. You love that 6.
Yeah. Holler at, hey, she liked the photo too. Number 3, the Bodega No Days Off. That's my favorite New Balance.
Yeah.
Of them all. Number 2, the Sakai's, and if I had to pick a color, it would be the original green.
So yeah, my favorite.
And then number 1, the Cactus Plant Flea Market Vapor Max one.
All right, that's not bad.
I'm not mad at it. What you got?
I'll just say the shoes that were different for me. The one that we haven't talked about are the Awake ASICS Keanu 360s. That's the one I think you mentioned earlier, Greg, right? Yeah. So it's got the hybrid. The cream 360 midsole is super dope.
That's always best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like that one. And then, all right, no one's going to agree with me on this, but I'll say it anyway. The Jound Reebok Club C's. It's a cream Club C with Jound on the side of it.
Where'd you get those from?
I got them from Jound on release.
Okay.
Because they're like $350 now. No. Those are like a $300 basic Reebok.
I liked the shoe.
But I like Jound.
Okay.
So you do
that's why. That's the thing. It's not the
because I wear them with Jound socks, Jound white t-shirts,
was that your only
Jound basic jeans, Jound basic hoodie.
Was that the only Reeboks you bought of the year?
No, I probably bought. I went back on StockX and bought the workouts, the bait collab on the workouts.
Okay.
They just don't like the Apple shoe. Like
no, you're right.
But so for me, if I'm doing a fit that's rather complex, then I throw on the Jazz.
Yeah. That's why I bought.
Because you can't have some of these shoes if you're wearing like plaid pants.
I bought so many. Not Calabasas. The other
Powerface.
No, not Powerface. I got those too, but the other one that like at stores, regular stores.
Yeah,
they look like Calabasas and Powerface
Yeah, I'll think of it in a second too.
I bought a grip of those because sometimes you just need a basic. I just need a basic low. That's why I wear the Calabasas with it. It's just basic. Like it doesn't jump out the window too far, but I get that.
Club C's a great silhouette.
No fact.
But I think that's the only thing. Oh, all right. For me, literally, Tom Sachs could do like a gel insert, just the insole, and that would be in my top 10. So the overshoes in my top 10. But
Wait,
I'm not
about
the
boot. The boot.
No, you cut them.
I cut them.
I like them cut.
Mine are cut.
Okay.
Did you see his?
What don't you guys got?
The circumcised overshoes are great.
Stop overlooking Dallas because we got it too. God damn it.
Good Lord.
Nike. Come see us.
Like, I got all the Sacai's. I had like 3 for myself. But they were like the same colors. Like it was like the 2 green, and I had the first color.
Like we're and I've said this many times. Like Dallas, being a sneakerhead in Dallas is always like fighting. You wouldn't know it too. It's fighting the fight with one hand tied behind your back because first of all, none of the shit's available. So you got to go find it and to get it. And I've been fortunate enough for most of the stuff I was able to get at retail. Thank God.
Yeah,
because the shit's expensive.
And I will say, like, dude, we talked about all the new melons you had in your 6.
No, look.
No, we didn't touch them all. So the other ones.
Know what you got the 6.
So the 5. Oh, there's 5. I had for New Balance 5. I had the Arme Leon Dor 990 V2. Then I had the 997. I said either colorway on the 997, just one of those. Then I had the Concepts S-Ruck, way better in hand than they are on Instagram. Yep. I like the No Bad Days Bodega better, so because the quilting on the back is more visible on the second release.
I do not understand why people like that shoe. I like the Numa. I love that. The color blocking and stuff is just not attractive to me.
No, I don't like the purple one, but the yellow with the teal on the back, I like.
I just people and the price that they go for. I'm like, I don't understand.
See, on I got the cheaper one. I bought it resale, but it's like $275. When I got it, it wasn't that bad.
Right now.
The cheaper one.
Yeah,
that's how far in the sneakers we are. Like when you start saying, I started saying like to me retail is $250. Like, it don't matter what it is. Like,
right.
Because once foam posits at one point I got to like $275.
Yeah,
and then I was like, and we were like willing to back then when I was willing to buy them. I was like, oh, the retail is $275 now on everything to me.
Right.
So.
Totally.
Yeah.
The final one is the so 990 V3 is like one of my favorite silhouettes of New Balance.
I like it.
Todd Snyder did 2, but the one that I like is the dark ale. So it's brown and then it has veggie tan on the end.
Yeah.
And that veggie tan fades with oxidization or whatever it's called.
Oxidation.
Oxidation. There you go. Thank you.
I'm here for you.
And I think that looks pretty good. And so those are my 5. I think those are better. I mean, I had 2 Nikes on here. I had the green Sakai and the black Sakai. That's my own.
Doing the same shoe in the same color.
I love he said like he did it a favor. Doing your favor. I threw some Nikes in there
just for you guys, I will say like it's crazy when we talk about the sneakers and New Balance and stuff like that. New Balance has had such a phenomenal year. And I feel like a lot of Asics did kind of go, without, kind of missing, people didn't really pay attention to what was out there. But I feel like with Adidas, them putting the like tie-dye Ultra Boost in there and then even a V2, like I feel like it's really forced. Like you almost have to. And it's hard to deny what New Balance did this year. But like we said, it's like if you're not feeling like the love you would get wearing, if you put on Emily whatever. I don't know. I'm very awful with names. You put those on. But then you walk out with that. It's like, oh, that was cool. But you walk out with a Sakai. It's like, yo, I got a Sakai. It's different.
But
I hate it. Behind it, for real.
For me, whenever I'm around people that also know sneakers, I don't want to be one of 2 or 3 people that have that shoe.
Right.
And or at least around here, no one ever has what I'm wearing. And that's my niche. That's part of it.
If I didn't know, are you born and raised from here?
I'm from West Texas.
Okay,
so I'm from the country.
If I would have just Instagram based on that, I would never known you from Texas.
Yeah.
New York dude, right?
I would have thought East Coast, Connecticut, something of like a little bit more, I won't say culture, but like your style is very eclectic.
Yeah,
like,
this man is Williamsburg, Brooklyn all day long.
Like it works.
So
that's what's good about it. And it's definitely something like I said, like I look at you like you make me like, I'm thinking to myself like, I ain't buying Ralph Lauren drapes.
Right.
I go to Pottery Barn and see what they got, make me some pants, see what West Elm got.
I think part of the thing with New Balance is you got to have a fit to have it be that's fire.
You do.
Facts. And I would rather try to pull that off.
It's the clothes with New Balance and
that's
stuff
what
like that.
I think that's why you pull off so well because when I look at them and I'm like, especially the gray ones. My dad wears those.
Yeah.
My dad ain't rocking fits. You know what I'm saying? My dad is my dad. You know what I'm saying? My dad is a nerdy dude. He's awesome.
Balance,
I love my dad. Shout out Pops.
A New Balance, you look at it, oh, that's fire. But when you throw a Kith hoodie on top, adds a little something to it, or a Mercer, a Kith pants, something like that.
It's not even just the, like, you couldn't, if I see the regular box logo, Kith, no, you got to do the puffy wool joint that he has. Like that to me, that's the fit.
Yeah.
Just a regular, that ain't the look.
Anything just says
Give me
Kith
that Greg Lauren Kith. That Greg Lauren Kith with New Balance fire.
Greg Lauren Kith is a hitter.
See, like,
that is a hitter, man.
It's crazy because for me, the New Balances that I like are all crazy colors.
Yeah.
None of these gray joints.
But see, that's where people made the mistake with New Balances, that people that weren't too into them, they thought like, I got to spice these up to get some type of like positive attention to these. Yeah. Because the gray ones, like I remember they see them in East Bay, like, and this is back when we were kids. I'm like, the gray ones were always like $199. Yeah. And I was like, why are these joints $199?
Yep.
Yes.
Like these are crazy. And now it's like, I see a pair of gray ones, I'm like, oh, that's it. Like them is fire. I don't even look at it like those old man. I look at it like he knows what's up. Like
no, I mean there's just too many of them. Especially, so I'm in a couple sneaker groups here in Dallas, and the push for New Balance, like the last 6 months, has been crazy. Everybody has them. So I'm like, now I definitely can't get in on that because everybody's doing it. So like when the New Balance dropped, like the beaded ones were my favorite ones, and those are like the multicolored joints.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, give me those.
Those are actually nice.
Facts.
I do like those.
So those, I would have put those in my top 10, but I had, you know what I'm saying, there's too much happening. But like I have to be the contrarian to the contrarian. So he wants the grays. I'm like,
but
fuck
that's
that.
one reason why I wanted Ryan here, because I like the balance of something.
It's wonderful.
It's a good balance. It's like I watched you guys' show and you guys all the Nikes and stuff like that, and we're very versed in sneakers, and me and George are very different in our arguments and stuff like that. But I knew that with the New Balance and stuff like that with Ryan, it's a good balance. Like, we all understand it. We're all aware of what
most definitely.
That's the best thing about like our shows too, is being knowledgeable. Like I'm aware about it. Like I don't have to like research everything. Like it's like, oh, he says that, I know what that is. You know, I like it, I don't like it. I know what it is.
And I know that the bodegas are 997S's. I'm going to say for the third time.
Are you sure they're not 975?
975
and a half, 0.2 and a half?
So I don't have anything else to discuss. I appreciate you guys coming here, taking time out of your day on the weekend. I appreciate
you coming to Dallas and inviting us out here, man.
Oh man, like I come here every single year, and I'm coming, and shout out to MZ Studio as well. Like this is a very nice studio.
This is very nice.
I did the podcast from another studio last year, and I'm almost glad you didn't come. That's how crazy that studio was. And he was telling me like, yeah, Metallica's been in here. I'm like, yo, it felt like 1979. It felt like cocaine in the air. It was, and
like Metallica was definitely here in
like
the 80s.
and it was cool. Like in our podcast studio, we don't have an engineer. Like, you know, shout out to the engineer here at MZ Studio.
Spider.
The engineer was like sitting next to me, like in my face, and he's like this. I'm like, all right, I can't record this show. And he's like this. He's like, really, sneaker? I'm like, okay, just stop looking at me. Like, all right, but you know, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys coming, taking time out of your day. Like I said, we got family, we got things, we got plans. It's the holidays and all that. And you know, I come every year, and every year I will be back here at MZ Studio, and I will invite you guys again every year. And I like the amount of mics here. I'm like, man, we could invite a whole panel.
Yeah,
like,
I'll bring Dappa and Matt next time.
Man, bring Dappa, bring Matt, bring anybody you know. We can get them all. No, anything, man, is possible. So I want everybody to subscribe to Off the Cut on YouTube. You consider yourself a YouTube show, right?
Yeah, we're a YouTube series for now.
A question real quick. Why did y'all want to do 15 minutes? Like 15, 20
So
minutes?
here's what we found is that the attention span. So we at first we would do like 24 to 30 minutes.
Right.
And we started looking at the analytics, and people were cutting off after 6 or 8. And so we shortened it up, and we got more to the point on our segments. So we went from 3 to 4 segments to 2 segments. And then a third one that we would drop by itself. People started watching, and our views grew. So we were like, fuck it, we'll just do it to the attention span. Would I like to sit there for 2 fucking hours? Hell yeah.
See, that's why we do 2 hours, because it started that way. They cut it off at 25, then they cut off at 30. But then like we kept looking at them like, man, it's staying on longer and longer and longer. And then like now, like we average about, I think like 139, something like that. I'm like, oh, that's good. So we go long, because I hate doing video.
Yeah.
I hate doing video.
See,
I absolutely hate it.
Producer, so I love it. And so what I want to do, I want Off the Cut to be, you know, there's another show out there that's a little longer, and to me it becomes very boring after a certain amount of time, because it's just a talk show. And what I wanted Off the Cut to be is those 15 minutes is us in the shop. Sure, we'll be there, we can have the conversation. Anything longer than that, we'll need to pull ourselves out of the shop, and that's what we're going to be doing. So our plan going forward is to grow the show a little longer, but add more visuals, leave the shop. So we do, our first segment's always what's in the bag. Instead of just me showing up with what's in the bag, I'm gonna show you why I went and got it, how I went and got it. When we do a food segment, we're gonna do it at that place.
Right.
If we're gonna do a guest, we're gonna go to that. Like if we're gonna come and have you on the show, I'm gonna come to your house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We'll do it at just.
I would love to do stuff like that. I could barely get George to come to the studio though.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why, because right now it's not physically possible.
Right.
But we're getting there.
Right.
And as the show grows, our content will grow and it'll get better. And our set will definitely not look like an IKEA background.
I think it looks dope. That's cool. It's different. So I like it a lot.
And that's what we wanted. We wanted to make a TV show on YouTube, not a show on YouTube.
Right. And which is good. And we do the video because everybody just demanded it. Like we argue so much and they wanted to see us. And I'm like, why do you want to look at us?
Yeah.
Like, go to a podcast.
They may change their mind today.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. I'm like, go to the audio, listen to the podcast in your car, your headphones. Why do you want to look at us?
Shout out to Cartel, our editor, and Ian, our DP, because we show 15 minutes, but we shoot an episode for 2-3 hours.
Oh, see.
And then we've got to chop it down. So we have to sit there in a room and be like, okay, get rid of that, get rid of that. There's so much good stuff that never makes it on just because it's too long.
I do all our editing and everything, and I think I just get tired of it. Like I do all of it. So
that's one of the reasons why we started doing like the OTC Unboxed, just to fill the gap so our editor has enough time to edit the show and I'll still feel content there. Idea. So we started adding a little bit more to it.
Oh, that's good. Ryan, I appreciate you like
always.
Man. Keep doing your thing. You're always a super homie. Subscribe to Off the Cut. Subscribe to the Snake Disc. Do all that.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, review, comment, talk crazy. I feel more comfortable when people talk crazy to me in the comments. Sometimes they're like, yo, I love it. Gets me through the day. I'm like, it makes me cringe. Like, you're welcome. Like, I don't know what to say to that. You know?
Like, you don't know shit.
Yeah, I like that. I'd be like, oh, word? And like, go, whatever. But appreciate you guys coming through. Appreciate MZ Studios. That's the Snake Disc, Texas. That's
pow, pow, pow.
Pow, pow, pow. Yeah. Pow, pow, pow.
To me.